Okay, I don't know what this countdown thing is. I don't need 18 more seconds. Do you guys?
I hate that countdown.
Yeah, let's just forget the countdown. Anyways, everybody, welcome to the show. This is the Toy Duo. We actually started almost on time this week. I want to say welcome to G-Force and Super John for joining me this week on the Toy Duo. This is your first time on the show, right, G-Force?
On this one, yeah.
Yes. John has been on a couple of times, usually doesn't let anybody speak, so I'm glad you were able to respond.
What the hell?
Anyways, at the end of the show, I'm going to make sure everybody's links to their YouTube channels are in the comments. So they're probably not in there now because I would think I was lazy. But anyways, I do have memberships on my channel. So you can join, you get custom badges, emojis. I got some community posts and some behind the scenes videos and stuff like that. I think I have a couple of different levels now. I have like the super expensive for rich people level, which will get you an exclusive t-shirt every month. And then if you're in the chat, please ask questions and make comments because, you know, this show doesn't go on without like people make it. Well, it could, like if nobody was watching, we would just be sitting up here talking, like pretending like people are like listening and stuff like that. Right. I went to this thing where this comedian's talking about how she goes, and my brother who live streams on Facebook Live to one person and it's probably him. On his phone or something like that.
So watching it on the phone. Yeah, making sure it looks good, and you.
But ask questions and comments. If you have questions about JOEFEST, G-Force is here to answer all of your questions because he is the expert on all things JOEFEST 2023. We're also going to be doing the reveals with the hot or not section, which we do every week. And if you remember, you got special emojis that won't show up on StreamYards, but they will show up on YouTube. It's fire, ice, and lava, volcano, or something like that for super hot. And if you aren't a member, you could just go find emojis of fire and ice.
Jeez, you're making people do work. Man.
Maybe we'll come up with some tips and stuff like that, but we'll definitely talk about like I do want to talk about a show that I'm watching, so I think I'm going to mention that like sometime when we get started. And then of course the Flash came out this weekend. Did any of you guys see it yet?
No.
Or have plans to? John is not going to because he explained.
I would have to shower, right? Didn't I explain this already?
God forbid we do something like that.
Well, it's got mixed reviews from what I understand, and they were hoping that it would break 70 million, but it doesn't look like it's going to break 70 million over the weekend. But it still looks like it's pretty good. I think I'm going tomorrow in the morning. I'm being taken, so that's going to be kind of
taken.
Cool. Yeah, taken.
By a guy with a certain set of skills.
Yeah, they're going to throw a bag over my head, throw me in the trunk of the car, and drive me to the theater. Without taking a shower, by the way. I'm not going to take a shower.
No, make it hard on them at least.
Anyway, G-Force was first in the comments. He was sitting waiting for everybody. I think you were on Left Coast's stream right before he ended. I saw you in there. And then he did one. I think he ended like at 11:30 or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got Jonathan Redmond's in there saying hello. Lobot. Saying hello to everybody. Force is throwing all of the emojis up because he is a channel member. And what you get is that's what you see on StreamYards, but if you look on YouTube, you'll see actually the emojis. Let's see. If you pretend we're all asking questions, we'll pretend you're answering them. Yeah. See, that's the other problem too, is like if we don't actually see the question or the comment, then sometimes we just ignore it. We're not like ignoring you. I'm getting old and I'm not wearing my glasses this week again. So the writing is kind of small. But anyways, Blue Sasquatch is, and yes, this is live. You got your answer. Mod Extra, I have a question. Okay, so he has a question. What's John's strategy to get to number 41 in crayon eating?
Oh, well, next year, so there was only 50 people in the competition, but I'm pretty proud of getting 42. And it wasn't just me, it's the whole nation of the awesome realm. So there was multiple people attempting to get to this, and 42 was quite an accomplishment. So I think our strategy for next year to get to eat more crayons. See, a lot of people didn't like the really light colored ones. For some reason, the darker ones taste a little bit better than the light colored ones. So I think we're going to practice more on light colored crayons and get ourselves more accustomed to those flavors. You know, a lot of times people say it's an acquired taste, you know.
But they all taste the same.
So I must have missed that or something.
I don't know.
You have to eat the whole crayon or just a bite of one?
the whole crayon. The whole crayon.
All right. So he's also asking what time is it? He's asking me. So I'm going to throw this up there really quick. I'm going to share my screen. And I just typed into my internet browser, what time is it? GMT, that's general Greenwich Mean Time, right? And when you see it come up, it says that right now it's just after 7:06 p.m. GMT on Saturday. So I'm going to need to ask a question.
Yes.
Why are you guys thinking it's 8 o'clock there GMT when the internet tells me it's 7? I'm going to need.
Why are we in the past here? Yeah.
Yeah. So
we don't
know
what's going on.
I'm guessing you guys forgot to change your clocks 2 months ago. And I'm wondering if like you've been wondering why your boss is like standing there like this when you show up for work.
Mm-hmm.
or what's going on with the internet. Maybe the internet is wrong. Low bot.
Seriously, it was a 5 hour difference. Now all of a sudden it's only 4.
Yeah, it should be 5.
Yeah, what happened?
So Sir Eric Brown is jumping in just to say hello. He can't stick around because he's on baby duty, and we totally understand that. We got Salacious Rum has joined us. Be careful. He hides bodies in the bushes.
What?
And Rolando is here. He's driving. I'm going to make him while he's driving, I'm going to make him a moderator so he can put everybody's links while he's driving.
I don't think there's any proof to the fact that someone hides bodies in bushes. I don't know what he's talking about.
All right. So this is not an answer to the question.
The internet is wrong. Is that what you're saying, Jonathan?
Okay, that's correct. It is 7 p.m. GMT, but the clocks have changed. We are now on BST. This is kind of strange because so they're on standard time and we're on daylight time. Because if you actually look, like we're in PST and EST technically on the winter months, which make it standard time. And in the summer, we're on daylight time. Right? Because technically, when you do the time, it should be PDT, EDT. I don't know. I don't know how that works, but okay. So you guys are on standard time. So you have changed your clocks and moved them ahead. So you are now 8. But then why doesn't the internet? I'm just wondering why the internet doesn't account for that. Anyways, that's a.
Did you type in BST instead of GMT? Maybe
no, I just said what. I just said what time is it GMT?
Right. So if you ask what time is it BST, will it tell you 8?
Oh, okay. Why does everything have to be complicated?
But like, does Germany use BST?
BST. Let's see.
Oh, it's not standard time.
Look at that.
British summertime.
Yeah, BST says 8:09 p.m.
Yeah, so BST is British summertime. Okay. Well, that makes sense. You guys got your own time zone there.
Freaks changing all the words around again.
Yeah.
And then let's see. Duffman's Dioramas has jumped into the house, and he wants to know what's going on here. We're talking about times. This is not going to be a conspiracy show about like time travel, although time travel exists. Did I ever tell you guys about my theory about why some days seem longer and some days seem shorter?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so
this sounds like a branch of super awesome science, but this is Verd science.
All right, so let's just pretend like this.
He's got a piece of paper.
Let's just
like he's written this theory down.
This is the universe, right? Say you're here and you want to travel to here. Normally, it would take you like 500 light years to travel this distance.
We're talking about a day.
Yeah, but if you're living in a world where you can travel warp, so there's probably some some race out there that can bend space and time to travel long distances.
Well, we've done it in a laboratory. We've created a warp bubble in a laboratory.
They bend space and they touch. They cross over from that point to this point and then unfold space. And now they've traveled all that distance in seconds. So if you think about your arm and these two muscles, when this arm bends this way, this muscle contracts and gets shorter. So when this guy is here and he's traveling to here and we're here, when he bends space and time, basically you have less distance to travel the same time. So your day seems shorter. But if you were here when he bends the space, your day will seem longer because you have to longer distance to travel the same time.
Dino's going to love that shot.
Yep.
What do you think about that, John?
I actually think it's a pretty good idea. You know, that's a neat theory. I like it.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yes, and Blue Sasquatch called it. There were aliens.
It's not some race out there, some species. We've created a warp bubble in the lab already.
Oh, we probably have. Yeah. We got that like tunnel, right, where they like
smashed. They proved that warping space and time is an actual thing that can be done, and that they theorized that if we could make a large enough warp bubble to cover a whole ship like a rocket, we could the space in front of the rocket, I think it contracts, right? Something and the space behind the rocket expands, which pushes the rocket forward.
Yes.
And
I saw that. That was that. Yeah. Yeah. And then they were talking about transporter technology. Oh my gosh. We're almost there.
We're not doing transporters.
We're like a couple of years away.
Transporters are crazy.
Saying hello.
Would you even be you on the other side? I think you'd just be a dead mass. We wouldn't be able to transport your thoughts and memories.
Okay, so check this out. So the transporter idea, right? I saw this like physics conversation about the transporter idea. And basically what they're saying is the way the technology would work is it would scan you on this side.
Yeah.
And then it would replicate you on this side.
Yeah. And then destroy the body.
Conscious over to this replication and then have to like completely annihilate.
Completely destroy the body on that side. Yes. Yes. Vaporize
so you just be a copy.
Yeah.
That's how John got to be a clone.
Well, they never blew up the other copies. So there's accidentally, yeah. It's like that episode where there ended up being 12 different Jean-Luc Picards. It was a nightmare. Yeah.
They learned from their mistakes.
Jonathan's asking me to ask the internet what time it is in the UK. Let's see. Computer.
Hello, computer.
Oh, how quaint.
Yes.
Let's see if anybody knows what that's from. Blue Sasquatch. Okay, let's see. Here we go. Ern just made up.
So you don't
holding space thing just to show off he's been in the
Yeah.
I might have.
So you don't believe the whole thing that Dom was on the phone? I was at Bits and Buttons when Dom was on the phone with another dealer that are going to Florida SuperCon, and they were bitching and yelling at each other about this new policy of loading and unloading only being done by the union, and they're charging $90 a trip, and then some of the panels are going to charge the biggest panel wants to charge $15 and you have to buy a ticket the morning of the panel. And they said it's for safety reasons because too many people fill into these halls to see these guests.
Okay,
and
so
the lines go up. The lines are like 4 or 5 hours long. So they said we've tried many different things throughout the years to eliminate the lines because the lines in the hallways cause fire hazards. If there was a fire and that whole crowd was plugging up the hall waiting to get in, half the people on the other side of the building wouldn't be able to leave. So they're now they're only going to if there's 100 seats, let's say, or 1,000 seats in the panel hall, they're going to sell 1,000 tickets. And there's no lines now. You show up with your ticket and get into your seat.
That's not true because you're still going to have a line to let 1,000 people in because 1,000 people can't go in one door at exactly the same time, and then there's
Well,
going to be
you
like
know how those things work.
then
There's like
no,
there's like a
then there's
whole
gonna be a
wall of
cutoff.
doors that they
Gotta be
open
in there
up.
by
So there's
8.
like
They're
100
gonna
in
have
each
the
door.
doors open at 7:30, and then somebody's going to want the best seat, so they're going to get there at like 4:00.
Oh,
in the
it's
morning
probably
to
going to be assigned
front row,
seating. Oh, it's
right?
probably going to
And
be assigned seating, dude.
at San Diego Comic-Con, they have like 150,000 people a day potentially like getting tickets to go in for that day. They have one big hall. It's Hall H. That's where like the studios do like the biggest things. There's a line outside that door from like the day before.
Yeah, I know.
And what they do is they give them like the first 1,000 people they give wristbands to, but they only give wristbands up to a certain number of people so they can go to the bathroom and come back and get in line and stuff that. Right. And it's pretty orderly. And the problem is there's no way to get around not having a line. So
well, this is their
designated time.
Yeah, that making pay people extra, that's an excuse to make more money.
Oh, of course it is. Of course.
It has nothing to do with a line.
Is, but I'm saying that's what they're telling people.
Well, they're full of it, and people
like some of them are $5, some are $10, and the big ones are $15.
No, that's ridiculous.
And then on top of you pay the $100 for the weekend to get in, and then they're charging like the guy he was talking to. He was like, "I'm pulling out," and he goes, "There's like 4 or 5 other dealers that are getting their money back," and then Bits and Button like he slammed his phone down. And I was like, what's going on, dude? And he's like, this is just pissing us all off. And he goes, I'm thinking of calling up and calling it off too. I'm going to get my money back and bail out. Because he's like, I have a truck full of stuff and I bought two booth spaces. It's going to take me about 12 trips back and forth to the car at least, maybe more. And they want $90 per trip. So he's like, I'm looking at paying over $1,000 each for teardown and for setup.
Yes, yeah,
because the union, because he's like the union now of the convention center is saying if you do it yourself, you're stealing our jobs.
Where is this? Where is this convention in Florida?
Yeah, Miami.
Oh, it makes sense.
Yeah,
yeah, it makes
sense. He's like I'm done doing because he goes. I just found out that New York's going to do it also. He's like New York is doing the same thing. Their union. So he goes. They either have to stop having conventions at a convention center.
There's a show on Paramount Plus. It's called The Offer. It's a show about how they made The Godfather. So if they do that union thing in New York, I understand it after watching it.
Yeah.
They got to use the union to make sure that they get all their trucks and equipment there.
Yeah. But I just think it's funny, like conventions are going to have to move out of convention centers because if this starts becoming a thing and moves across the country where it's not just Florida SuperCon and New York City Comic NYCC, and it starts picking up at other conventions that are at convention centers. They either have to move them out of convention centers and go back to like gymnasiums and auditoriums and make a bunch of smaller conventions or rent out like halls somewhere else or whatever. But it's
San Diego is too big for their convention center. They got like halls in the 2 hotels next door that they use.
Yeah.
The one across the street they use. They've used Petco Park. They've used all like the walkways in Petco Park to set stuff up outside events or whatever. They have these 2 parks like outside of the convention center that are totally set up for Amazon. Usually takes over one, and HBO takes over a section. And they have these huge setups outside, and there's all kinds of outside events in that downtown area, right? Like it's just crazy, but very few, unless it's at a club or a bar and it's like a themed event. There's no charge for those outside events.
Yeah.
Right. And even if you don't have tickets to Comic-Con, you can still.
There's so much stuff to do around.
You can still do all those other events that are.
That's how Seattle became. That's how Seattle became with Emerald City because they had 6 floors of the convention center plus the place across the street had like 4 floors of stuff. And then you had all the satellite buildings around it that were free, and there were parties and all kinds of things going on. Like people we never understood living in Seattle and watching it grow why people tend to dismiss Emerald City Comic-Con as a big deal. But we're like, where else can you find a convention that has 6 floors of a convention center? You know.
Dragon Con's pretty huge. They got like 4 hotels that are all together.
Yeah.
Waze is saying hello while he packs up all of his action figures that he just built all those displays for.
Why? Is he moving?
He's moving. Okay, so Jonathan has a way for them to get rid of the line. This gets rid of lines. When they buy their pass to comic or to the convention, they can just give tickets to these events.
You sign up for you sign up for the events you want, and then when it's first come first serve, when they're out, they're out. Yeah.
So for exclusives and stuff at San Diego, what they do is like if they're going to be if a vendor is going to be selling on-site exclusives like Funko or something like that, what they do is they tell Comic-Con, and Comic-Con has this like backdoor lottery system.
We have that
and
too, yeah.
For every ticket for every day, you get a certain number of entries. So you can basically, and for signings and stuff. And so basically you click on whatever you want and you can put down as many chances as you have available to get a slot to go get into their booth. And then you get notified about a week or so ahead of Comic-Con saying, yeah, you won the Funko at 10 o'clock on Thursday or something like that. Right. That's the
I
way
did that.
Yeah. And
I wonder, I put, what I always do is I put in for like,
it's the way they did Celebration too, I think.
This is the only way to get a word in edgewise is that John's
like
internet
for that to happen.
Yeah. One year I got the Lego one, and I went and picked it up, and then I traded the Lego one with someone
he doesn't know he was
wanted.
still talking.
No, I know I froze. I waited. Jesus.
Hey, anyway, so I'm going to throw this up there, and real quick, let's just talk about this for a second. Can we, before we get off on too many different topics? This is not the hot or not. What we're talking about is the G.I. Joe HASLAB. And these are the 2 figures, is Wild Bill and Ripcord, which are unlocked. And then this week they announced the figure in blue. That's Jane Glinda Mulligan, right?
You didn't cut out the other colors. You should have done, there's gray between his arms.
Yeah, you know, when I
color by her legs, you need
hold on,
to get rid of that and make it all black.
It's cut out, but the problem is when it transitioned to a Google Slides that put it back in. But anyways, so when they announced this, I made the mistake, and I think it looks pretty cool. I mean, it comes with all the different hair. I don't know if I like the swappable hair as much because that lady Jay kind of bothered me a little bit with that. But when this first came out, I was kind of thinking, was this the 2008 Scarlet? And then I was like, no, I don't think it's the 2008 Scarlet. I think this 2008 Scarlet is based on something else. And originally, I was thinking, oh, it was this G.I. Jane that was in the comic books, but this is Martel, who was like the physicist and like a flight nurse, right? Or a battle nurse.
Yeah.
And so, like, unfortunately, I thought that this was the character, so I had kind of said that out there, that I thought this is what the character was based on. But actually, and then I threw this out there because this is a helicopter pilot. It was a 12-inch G.I. Jane. But this is the actual figure that one's actually based on in the character.
Yeah.
Okay, so is that Scarlet, this one here?
Yeah.
This one, but updated for the US.
Well, what do you mean? Well,
so this one came out like
helicopter or Copiloto de Helicopteros Glenda is the exact Scarlet figure, but painted.
Yes, but it was a different character, and this isn't codename Scarlet. This is codename Glinda.
Yeah,
but in 2008, like stuff that I've read said that when they introduced the character back in the States, they just made it Scarlet instead of just carrying on the Glinda.
Well, Scarlet wore that blue outfit in one of the cartoons, and she did it in the comic books when she flew. But it was when she flew the Sky Striker. Not when she flew a helicopter.
All right. So,
however, I thought when I saw this, I was like, they basically did the Scarlet figure, but with blonde hair. Why not just do it Scarlet?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Probably because they already have a few Scarlets out.
Somebody will tell you I have swappable hair, but I don't. But anyway, so I think it's kind of an actual cool thing, right? It's a pretty deep cut. It also comes with a laser rifle. I know that a lot of people were pointing out the laser rifle, thinking that was a prelim to getting somebody else. but because this figure came with that laser rifle, I think it's appropriate, right? And here's the little info that I have on the Glinda. It came from JMM's G.I. Joe comics homepage. And he basically says that she's an Argentinian air intelligence officer. And she was a skilled helicopter pilot intelligence officer that sometimes worked with the G.I. Joe team, right? So I think that's kind of interesting.
Look at that. Yeah.
So that's a pretty deep cut for that type of figure. What do you guys think about that being the next tier? And what do you guys think?
I'm already backing it, so I don't really care. But I would have preferred it to be Doc or Airborne. But especially Doc. Doc needs to be the third unlock. If they need to announce that and just say it's Doc with the little cargo thing for carrying people.
So there's a rumor out there. There's a YouTuber who thinks he's decoded what the next tier is going to be based on the number of X's in the name, and he thinks it's Hawk.
Yep. So that Unusual Mike's channel.
Yeah, the guy is Saturday morning toys or something like that.
Cool, but I'm with John. I would much rather have more well-known characters that they haven't done yet than go deep into the archives this early.
Yeah, it to me it seems weird to go this far into the like an Argentina figure.
Do you think it's because they were like, well, we want to do the OG Scarlet, so we're going to come up with this mold, and we don't want to throw it into the HASLab. So what's the next best thing? Use a character or figure that was released that uses the exact same mold.
That's a pretty good idea. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then we get all these backers to pay for it, basically, and then every time we sell one, it's just pure profit, basically.
Yeah.
So what do you think about? I know you guys want Doc, because I know John was saying he wanted Doc with the little medical sled that works with the little whatever. But what about General Hawk? I mean, I don't think we're gonna get. I don't think that they would dare throw this version out there, right? So much with the leather jacket and stuff, because I think that's the popular one.
No, because he's gonna be the one that's in. Again, because Airborne's a different version of, Ripcord is a different version of Ripcord.
But the first version of Hawk was more of a plain figure, right? With just a helmet.
Just a helmet,
with that plastic
and the
visor,
kind
of like this visor that I keep getting made fun of because, kind of like that visor.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering, do we get that, or do we get that one where he comes? Maybe he comes with those wings, those plain wings.
Oh,
the last version, whatever, he had the wings. Let's see. Hold on. I'm going to go through the chat.
There's a jetpack.
Yeah. So
they already have the jetpack made,
cool
right?
Figure, but not enough to boost backer numbers.
See, my feeling is this. Okay, I think they had a number of figures as an idea, for what to do behind the scenes, and they went, if it gets backed before, if we don't need to reveal the next, say, figure before it gets backed, and use that figure as a way to get the numbers, it's going to be Doc. It's going to be Doc, because they're like,
this one? Did I read this one? Somebody else want to read it? Because I don't
know. No, it's it seems hard to believe. So say they needed 10,000. They needed 10,000 to back it. If it gets backed, behind the scenes, Hasbro's going, if it gets backed without us revealing the next figure, then we'll throw in this Argentinian weirdo that no one's ever heard of, and it'll just be an excuse to get the mold made so that we can do Scarlet down the road. If it didn't get 10,000 backers and they needed backers, they needed the next thing to sort of fill it up, they would have announced it as being Doc. Yeah, and then everybody would have went, holy crap. But since it's already funded, they don't give a shit what the other ones are now. Do you know what I mean?
I get what you're saying, but
they're making the toy regardless. So who cares what the other ones are? It can be trash. They're like, now we'll just put out a bunch of trash.
I'm going to counter you on that, because with their with their levels, right? They want to have the best selling HasLab possible. So they want to get to those extra numbers, you know what I mean? So to get
I don't
like
believe they do.
20,000 or 19,000, I think is a big win for them. And so they do care what those tiers are. And I think that their thinking behind this was, we're going to give you a character that's so far out there that there's no way we would have ever put this figure into a regular production, but people were going to buy the original Scarlet and make this one themselves at home by painting it. So we'll just beat you to it and give you this obscure character. Now, I'll tell you what would make this even better for this unlock. If they gave it to you on a card back.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
That would be.
I hope all of them come
awesome.
on a card back. But yeah.
So Mod Extra is saying, as a non-backer, Glinda works. It's unique, added value for backers. That's not exclusionary to folks like him. And he would be upset if the other tier is General Hawk.
See,
then DJ Mr. McFly, it's going to be Hawk, either the classic OG Hawk.
I have the other feeling. I have a feeling that, like, if we don't get Doc with this helicopter, we're not going to get Doc. Because what they're going to do is, the more popular, when we were kids, and even today, the more popular Doctor has always been Lifeline. Because Doc was only in that first series of cartoons. Lifeline was in every cartoon for like 2 years. You know what I mean? So most of the people know Lifeline. So I was thinking that way. I was thinking, well, when they put out a medical officer, it's going to be Lifeline. Just like when they put out a communications officer, it's going to be Dial Tone. It's not going to be Breaker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're going to do Dial Tone. So, because those are the more popular characters that had the same field technician, whatever you want to call it, you know.
All 4 figures are going to be boxed.
Oh, that's right. They are boxed. That's right. They did say that.
But I think a retro card back for that one would have been
cool.
Super cool for
especially if it looked like the Argentina one.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless they do
not
something
made as the same card stock as the other ones.
Or maybe you know how like Action Force did this box for Desert Rat, right? It's different than the other boxes. Maybe if they do something to the box to like set it apart, like on the back, maybe give you the image or something like that. That would be kind of cool.
Or like this one.
Lifeline was more prominent. Yeah, keep showing that off.
How they did the different decor on the side and stuff.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get that when they put them up on their site.
The only one online right now. The only one online right now is $4,500.
For what?
Of that girl.
Yes, because of the HasLab. Because it wasn't that much last week. You don't like one, or I'm sure she'll garner pretty. Yeah, see, like on the secondary market, I think you could totally, and somebody will take that and repaint it and make Scarlet anyways from the very get go, right? Yeah. Went Doc before Lifeline. He was one of the first Action Force with new articulation. Maybe Valiverse will do Lifeline or Doc, since he was one of the first Action Force with new articulation. Card back for the retro.
And it's paper.
Thank you, Mr. DJ, Mr. McFly. Please hit the like button. Okay, so you went to JOEFEST.
I did.
And you went like the whole weekend? Was it like 3 days?
No,
2 days?
Only one day? We got there Saturday.
Okay.
Shabby and I. So got there right about as it opened, just a little after 10 o'clock. And it went till 5, I think it was. So it was a good time. Lots of variety of toys and stuff. There were Sectar hives there, Centurions, Brave Star, the whole gamut of toys. Cool. It was a Joe focused type of a show, but there was a lot of independent toy makers there, and they were putting out some great stuff. Nice. Smaller companies, things like that.
Right.
I only went to the Valiverse panel. I didn't go to any other panels.
Was it hard to get into the panel?
No.
Okay.
Walked right in, sat right down.
Well, was it actually in a separate room? Yeah.
Yep.
No,
Yep.
So it was big enough to accommodate pretty much everybody who was there that day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would say it was standing room only in Valaverse after they started. And so people were lining up on the wall in the back and stuff like that. But I'd guesstimate 150, 200 people.
Wow.
That's not bad. That's pretty good.
Yeah. But he had some good reveals and stuff like that. As far as they're going to be lowering prices. So these are going down by $1.
Right.
Regular figures are going to be lowering $2, and I think it's $3 maybe for the the deluxe figures.
So you talked to Bobby from Valaverse.
A little bit.
Did you talk to him about that vehicle that they're making?
Well, he discussed a lot of it in the panel. So when I talked to him, it was when I was buying my figures.
Okay. I'm curious to know, like, because I know they did a price point range, right?
Yes.
So I know how stuff kind of works sometimes, right? Like in other industries where like you go to somebody and you're pricing something out or whatever, and then by the time you finish pricing everything out and make a decision on who you're going to go with, the price may be different. So I'm curious to know if that was a factor in announcing that price range. Could it potentially end up being more than that, do you think? Because
now that he's announced it, I think he's kind of shot himself in the foot with if it's between one or two manufacturers and one's saying they can do it for 175 and one's doing it at 190 or something, and they both fall through, then he may have to go over 200 with it. But I think with the prototypes that he had out there and how far along everything looked, it was basically just unpainted.
Right.
I think he's got a pretty good lock on it, or he wouldn't have announced it.
So it's hard because, like, I think when we had it up last week, was that you, John, who said it looked like a giant Volkswagen or something like that?
Well, I didn't say that, but I mean, it doesn't look like a military vehicle. So, even though I know it is based on an actual military vehicle, I'm just saying the military vehicle itself doesn't look like a military vehicle.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because
Hummer or Jeep or something like that.
But the thing is, if you look at some of these like for-hire special forces groups, they use like Toyota Land Cruisers and stuff like that, right?
But I'll tell you what.
Okay, we'll get back to you on that.
I saw a caravan of stuff coming home from. They were six-wheeled armor-plated trucks with these freaking the front end was like all angular and crazy looking. And if I were running out of the building with machine gun fire and missiles flying at me and freaking napalm all over the place and people like screaming and yelling, heads flying off, I would jump in the vehicles I saw today, not that thing that Valaverse is making. If they were parked there and I had like a Cadillac SUV and that thing that Valaverse is making and this military truck I saw today, I'm jumping in that military truck, the U.S. military truck.
And I want to say when Valaverse first announced they were making a vehicle, it was a six-wheeled one.
Yeah.
I remember they announced that they partnered with that company, which it was interesting because he was saying that they get a royalty off each sale. So that was probably how they got the license. They didn't have to probably pay him a chunk up front. They're getting a royalty. So based on the manufacturing price and whatever that royalty payment is when they sell, his profit is whatever's left, right? So
yeah, I would think.
So it would be kind of curious to know closer to what that is, but looking at it up close and in person, what did you think? What was your impression of it?
I'm all in if it's going to be what he said. I think it looks really good for the price. I don't think he can beat it. The one thing that I will say is he showed a couple different options. So the base option comes with the turret with the machine guns.
Okay.
And it has a little swing arm machine gun that you can use as well. Comes with the jerry cans, the gas cans, and some of the effects, but the missile launcher is an add-on. That's a tier.
An add-on. So is it going to be a Kickstarter type of deal? Or?
I don't know how he's going to run it. He didn't really say if he was going to do it kind of Kickstarter wise, and you have to get to a certain number to unlock a tier or whatever.
ValLab.
ValLab. Yeah, ValLab. Yeah.
But
okay, so it's going to be.
It all looks really good.
Yeah. So it did.
Yeah.
So I was looking at the picture. Sorry, John.
No, go ahead.
What was this? Because I couldn't really tell because it seemed like the figures were either inside the vehicle or up on that turret. Did it look properly sized if they were standing next to it, or did it look like it would have been a little bit big? Because I know that when I did this custom car, right, it says it's a 112, but it's not necessarily a 112. And when I sit them in there, they really got to lean back in that seat, or their heads just bend because of the ceiling, because of the thing. But standing outside, this is a really good scale for standing outside, but not sitting inside. So I was curious.
I'm pretty sure there was one close enough that it looked pretty accurate to scale. I know the ones inside did have a little bit of headroom. So,
I feel like it looked okay.
I think
too. I mean, just on the pictures you guys showed.
No, I mean, like sitting inside, they were all inside and they looked fantastic sitting in there, right? But like standing next to the car, did it just like look like they were like a kid standing next to the car? That's what I would be curious about, because it's going to be how you frame, like, say, a picture with them outside of it, right? Like when I put a figure next to this car, it looks like they're proper size. The roof comes to the right height on the figure, that type of stuff. But when you can't sit them inside, it's like one or the other. So that's why I was wondering, does it look oversized if they're not in the vehicle?
It might be a tad oversized, but it also depends on like what type of vehicle you're comparing it to, you know, because it's jacked.
It's true. I mean, it's raised up.
Yeah.
I guess that perspective will change stuff, right? Like I've seen some of these like YouTube videos where the guys print out their full scale vehicle, and putting them in works fantastic, but having them outside, and then it's just bulky, right? It doesn't seem right. Like there's like when I do those toy hunts, I always go to the RC cars and I look for them to see like what you can do. And there's one RC car that has like seats in it, which are perfect. And it seems like if you had the figure in there, it would look fantastic. The problem is it's like a little street racer car and it's just way too big. Right.
And that was from your last hunt video, right?
I think, one of the last two. I think I pointed it out a couple of times, but that car is just way too big if you have him outside, but he would perfectly, a figure would perfectly fit in the seat. Let's see. Let's say hello to Sonny. He joined us. Captain Spaulding jumped in.
Spaulding.
DJ McFarlane. Let's see. JT. Did we say hello to JT yet? And then Brian from Brian's Action Figure Reviews jumped in.
Hey, Brian.
All right, struggling to. So I was curious about the sizing, because it did look good, and then even that picture they have with like the mock-up of the colors looked good. I thought also, right? So was it easy to get to the booths, or was there lines for anybody?
So I have no comparison. This is the first con I've ever been to.
Okay.
So it was a very well spaced out con. The aisles were probably 6-8 feet wide in spots, maybe 5 feet in the narrow inner aisles, but it was no problem walking around. You weren't like pressed up against
anybody on purpose.
Nope, you weren't showing them your butt or your front, whichever you chose.
You notice when you're walking towards a crowd so there's two types of people, right? You're walking towards each other and you're like this, and some people will do this to give way to walk past, but some people won't.
Yep.
Yeah. Which one are you?
I'm a giveaway.
Which one are you?
John, which one are you?
I give way. I let people walk by. I mean, come on.
And then, you know what's funny though? Like at Comic Con, like I'll see it, and I know they're not going to move, so sometimes I won't do it. We bump into each other, and then they're the first people to say, "Oh man, I'm sorry." I'm like, no, you're not. You had no intention.
You just walked right into me.
My favorite people in any aisle situation are the ones that just stop in the middle.
Yes. Right in front of you, right?
What
like
are
they
you
have
doing?
not a care in the world. There's
You're
no
the only
reason
person here.
Stop
Don't worry about it.
They stop and like, oh, look at that ceiling tile. That looks fantastic. So let me ask you a question. Like, did it feel like, because I know that Valverse had like, did everybody have kind of like a limit on stuff you could get? Like, was it one per?
Valverse certainly. But
really, they did?
No.
Like with Marauders.
No, I don't believe they did. Marauders had a huge setup.
So you could have bought like 27 of those snake Pliskins.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So mine's coming
pretty
soon.
You got to remember, most of the booths are people reselling stuff.
Yeah, that looks cool.
They don't care how much you buy.
Yeah, but I mean, like these guys are doing one-offs or original.
There was probably only three people doing original stuff there, right?
Did they? Oh.
There's Delta 17. There was Level 7, Marauders. There's a few.
In Valverse, so there's 4, 5 or 6.
I don't know. Did Valverse have 4? Or did they just have the retro figure and then the Warpath as the convention exclusives, and then they just brought stuff that was that they held off from their website? Yeah, but that had previously sold.
Some overstock stuff, so you were able to get like Bloody Pandora or Kill Switch, something that may have sold out. The Condor.
What about that? What? Go ahead.
The casual Condor there, or Covert Ops Condor with the Hawaiian shirt. He was only available with the points, so I think it was like $14 and 20 action points.
Yeah, that thing is going to be way more than $14. I'm sorry, because even if you don't count like the cost of everything you had to get the points, right? You still had to mail them to them, which was either $5 $1 if you didn't care for tracking, but if they lose your points, you're out of luck. So no matter what, most people are going to throw it into some type of tracking, which is $6 to $10. So on top of the 15, it's 25. You couldn't order anything else with it, which means you had to pay the full $8 for shipping. So it's already a $40 figure.
Yeah.
And
okay.
He did take points at the booth, so that was
cool. And that would be one way to save it.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I don't know. In talking to him as briefly as I did, I think he's a cool guy. I think he's trying his best to make things work. He told a story in the panel about, the website crash, and he's up for like 2 days trying to get it fixed, And
so he actually is the IT guy. He actually does all the coding for his website.
I don't know if that's the case or not, but he's talking to whoever he needs to get it fixed.
Because my complaint was he never said anything like, hey, our website's down, we're working on it.
Right.
You know what I mean? When it went down. And I feel like that would have been really good for them to like send out a message on their social saying that. But if he was busy actually doing all the coding, then I get it.
Then you would have let it slide. But so then Warpath, it was stuck in customs in New York.
Yeah, I heard that part.
Warpath, so that was like a last second deal. You had to have somebody that was already at JOEFEST receive
that was an articulated ninja sign for it, right?
Yep. I would have just put them in my truck and gone.
Now I'm curious, like, do you think when he signed for those, he signed articulated ninja?
Oh, he absolutely did, yeah.
I would have to think that'd be the best way to do it.
I think that's pretty cool. I mean, like, I get it. He was probably stressed out. He's probably on the horn with like those guys from whoever's running the IT at GoDaddy, right? Where he's got his website server. Yeah. But it is nice that they came out with like an announcement the other day saying that they're going to do some upgrades to the website before they throw that stuff on there to try to alleviate like some of the issues. And you know what? I think I tried to figure out what their website problem was. And I think that they did some sort of a thing where like when you put something in your cart, you can only have it there for like 30 minutes or something like that, and then, or 10 minutes or whatever. There was like a countdown. So I think that extra coating that they put in there probably didn't work very well. That's my guess, anyways.
Yeah.
And they were trying to fix it, but then eventually they just said, "Okay, go back to the the old way or whatever," because I think eventually that wasn't there anymore. So, I mean, it is what it is, right? Mod Extra Games has a question. He says, "Did you look at the Monster Force stuff?"
I did see the Monster Force stuff, and that was really cool. I didn't get any on film because I was trying my best to just like enjoy the experience and hanging out with Shabby and Scuba and whoever else we met up with. And I mean, if you hang out with Scuba Pete, the man is a rock star. He could not walk 5 feet without being stopped by somebody.
Really? That's amazing.
Scuba, Scuba. Like, holy crap.
Yeah, he's a big name. Big name.
One video.
In the joke community, right?
that was our joke all day, Shabby and I. He's got one fucking video.
Yeah, but how many?
But he's been in 9,000 different things. Yeah.
That's cool.
But yeah, the Monster Force stuff looked really good. They had a big werewolf, like bipedal werewolf, and he was awesome. But I didn't check out any of the prices or anything. I was just seeing the sculpts and how the figures look.
I think some of their stuff has been on Big Bad Toy Store. I think around the same price as like an Action Force or whatever for the monster. But I mean, like some of those non-painted ones, like there's a werewolf one looked really, really cool.
Yep.
And yeah, I thought they looked great. And then I also noticed that Gridiron Studios is doing the weapons and stuff for them. So I thought that was really cool because I think they make some pretty good stuff.
Yeah. And they had a really cool like Frankenstein table or whatever, if you will, one of those tilting like lab tables. That was in the same little acrylic thing as the werewolf, and it looked really good.
Yeah, I can imagine that looked awesome.
The Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, they look really good.
They look good? Okay.
Yeah.
So did anybody have, because I saw pictures of Valaverse had like a display. It was like a little diorama with all their figures in battle.
Yep.
Were other tables set up where they had similar type dioramas or no?
The diorama making people, of course, had theirs out. But like Marauders, most of their stuff was set up on risers.
Okay.
They did have a couple tanks and a couple little scenes set up, but it wasn't like a full-on diorama or anything. Who else? Robo Skull was there. That was pretty cool.
Didn't it?
Thing is massive, and the metallic paint on it looks really sharp.
The pictures looked really good. I can only imagine.
Up for us, and there's a lot of room in there for a 6-inch. Yeah,
it's got the weird. It's got an interesting cockpit.
Going to start
right?
shipping in September, so not too far off.
Yeah, John was asking about the cockpit because apparently it'll fit the 3.75 inch and then a 6 inch.
Yeah. Right, it fits both. Right, do you put a different seat in? Yeah.
And did those guys have a panel or anything like that, or did
they did not? That I saw.
Did you go to any other panels besides Valaverse?
No, because we were only there for the one day.
Right.
We maximized our floor time and just went to the panel at, I think it was 3:15 or something for Valaverse. So by the time they were done, we had an hour left of the show.
Okay. Yep. And then like the G.I. Joe, the artist was there, right? Hama, he was there.
Larry Hama.
Yeah. Did you see him?
Yep. I was taking pictures of Scuba while he got his #1 G.I. Joe signed.
Nice.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. I mean, like, so my brother got a signing with Jim Lee, and he knew about it like the day before. So my brother was trying to figure out what books he wanted to take in there. And he's allowed to bring, I think, like 3 or 4. And he's like, "Do you want me to have him sign anything for you?" So I sent the first issue that Jim Lee did for the X-Men, Uncanny X-Men. I pulled it out of my collection, and the cover is kind of coming loose a little bit from the bind. And when he went to sign it, he was like, "Are you sure?" He laughed, and then my brother goes, "Well, it's his book." And then I was standing on the other side of the rope, and I go, "That's my book that I bought when you first took over them." And he's like, "Oh, okay." And then he like signed and said he was pretty
Larry Hama was really cool though. If he personalized it to you, he was doing it for free.
Oh, that's actually awesome.
So that was really cool. I mean, Jem was charging $30.
Oh my God.
Well, comic book guys generally don't charge. They haven't.
Yeah, they just
they haven't charged. But yeah, he did. When I met him, I was like multi-days. I brought like 2 things in, and he signed it. And he's like, "You only got 2?" And I was like, "Well, I didn't want to overload. I hate it when people." And he goes, "Bring in more." He goes, "If I don't see you here tomorrow with more books for me to sign." So I brought in like 20 things, and he signed them all, like the silent cover with Snake Eyes. He even signed some of the I found the Star Wars and Transformers that he did the artwork for, which
cool.
And he had signed those, and yeah, he was great. He's awesome. Yeah.
Cool. So Mr. DJ, I said Mr. DJ, it's DJ Mr. McFly.
DJ.
The G-Force, did you get to meet Sergeant Slaughter?
Pretty intimately, yes. Yeah. So you guys want the story on that?
Sure.
All right. So I'm walking around the con all day, and Sergeant Slaughter was a big part of my childhood. I was like 8 years old into wrestling, and then he came over and was in G.I. Joe, and like, so I'm kind of fangirling over him a bit every time I walk past his booth to see him and Kelly, and and I'm trying to sneak a picture here or there, and he keeps looking in my direction when I'm doing these things throughout the day. So then after the con, we all went to the hotel bar and had a couple drinks, and he's eating dinner like a couple tables away from us. So, of course, I'm still kind of looking his direction. I don't want to be the guy to interrupt his dinner and say, "Oh, I'm a big fan,"
Uh-huh.
And all of a sudden, he's right next to me. I'm like, "Whoa, what's going on?" And he's like, "Do you mind if I use you?" I said, "Sure, no problem."
He use you.
Like,
it sounds so.
It sounds bad, right?
Right.
And so he gets me in a half Nelson, asks, "What's this?" And I said, "Half Nelson." He's like, "Oh, you know your stuff." I'm like, "Well, you're one of my favorites." And he puts me in a full Nelson, and then he starts dry humping me, and I'm like, "What in the world is going on here?" And he's like, "What do you call that?" And he says, "The Father Nelson." So I immediately thought of Connor and his father Michael stories, and just started cracking up. But Shabby said it best. He said, "I never seen a 50-year-old man turn into an 8-year-old so fast."
Yeah, that's super nice, man. That's a great one. It's a great story, and 2, it's probably even a greater memory.
Yeah.
Right?
Like,
yeah, that's really cool.
I could have left all the toys behind after that, probably.
Yeah. So I think that's really cool. So that was your first con. Does that mean like you'll be doing more?
Oh, we'll be going back next year for sure.
Do you have your sights on any other conventions though? Now that you've gone to this one and get an idea, or do you think just because of the theming, that's where you're at?
For now, I like that, and I like the size of the con. Okay. It's not too big, I don't do well with crowds anymore. But GalaxyCon they have in Raleigh here, so I might just for curiosity's sake go to that.
So they have a couple here, and I didn't go last year, but RocketCon was in here in San Diego, and it's at a much smaller venue. It's not as crowded and stuff like that. And I used to go to a lot of these like little smaller ones, and the smaller ones are actually super nice because when people are there, they're more likely to engage, than at Comic-Con where they're just like, no, there's 1,000 people. They just want like an eBay autograph or something like that, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Rolando.
Hey, Rolando.
All right. So anyways, I'm going to throw this back up there. This is the toy duo reveals. It's the hot or not section. Oh, I already revealed that one. We're gonna go through. we're gonna talk about them and decide whether or not we think they're hot or not, or whether they're worthwhile, or if you guys would buy them or whatever. And you guys in the chat know what to do. Let us know what you guys think also, because it's helping me narrow down which lines and stuff like that I actually show off.
Gotcha.
Anyways, no, I'm just kidding. So this is I know Sonny is probably interested in this one. He actually sent me a message. I think he just it's off the charts is what he's saying. This is Skeletor. It's a 12-inch 1/6 scale, and it's from it's one of those Mondo 6-inch or 12-inch figures. So we've looked at some of those other Mondo reveals previously, right? Which were like a He-Man, I think Man at Arms and stuff like that. So this is a Skeletor Deluxe, and
now you get the option of making like one figure does both.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he comes with
battle armor
accessories. So I think I got a second set of pictures. So you see all the accessories that he.
Oh my gosh! He even comes with the dragon and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
It looks really neat. I mean, like 2 different chest pieces, right? He's got like all the different weapons. He's got different hands. He's got the different heads and stuff like that. Faces in there.
In the hood, different hood.
So I think overall, this thing.
That's you can make all 3 different ones. Like technically, with the dragon and that purple armor, you should pull off the blue hands and put in the dragon claw hands. Do you see that? Oh, those are exclusive. Okay.
Are those like the Terror Claw hands?
Yeah, the Dragon Claw, Terror Claw hands. Yeah.
Duffman saying hot, but not into Mondo stuff. Yeah, the thing is, like, so Sonny's really into this. I think that's why he wanted me to show it off, because he's all in, obviously, right? Sean from Sean Solo 8, he has one of the 6-inch, and he says there's like paint rub on it, and it was a little top heavy, I think he said.
Oh, so there's 2 different versions of this. I see.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Well, see, there's one version. Look at it. It says the exclusive one comes with a fabric cape and hood. You get the extra hands and the extra 2 skull heads. You get the the chest plates and the dragon. Those are all in the dotted line exclusive. Where the standard model has 6 hands, 1 extra head.
Oh, I see. Yeah. But I mean, like, if you're going to get this, I mean, if you're going to spend how much they're asking for anyways, which I think is what, like $300 or something like that. You might as well just get the exclusive one for a little bit more, right? If you're already in it for that much.
I think so.
Yeah. All right. So I think there's a lot of hots in here, but I'm pretty sure it's the same 4 guys. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I think across the board, I think everybody thinks this is fantastic. There's probably just not collectors that would collect in that scale, but I mean, recognize it. This is actually, I think, a pretty decent product. Now, Mondo does stuff where they put out these 1/6 scale figures. They had like the Ninja Turtles before and stuff like that. And I think they look fantastic. I've seen them on display.
This is 12 inches tall?
It's a 12-inch figure, yeah.
Wow. If I were going to get just one, this is the one I would get. I'll tell you that much.
All right, $260 with the dollar sign in the back, so that's foreign money.
In foreign money.
Monopoly money.
All right, and then the Valaverse did reveal this is going to be their PowerCon exclusive, right? Are you going to go to PowerCon?
Me?
Yeah.
I doubt it.
Okay. So then they've revealed, well, I mean, this is a swarm. I think all their swarms look pretty good. I didn't pick any of them up, though. I do like the color pattern on this one, but I probably, because I'm not going to PowerCon, this is not something that I'm super interested in personally.
And like the Warpath Eclipse, though, he said there are going to be some on the website after the convention. Yeah. And this is a deluxe pack. So it comes in a big...
Oh, it probably comes with this little stand thing in the background then, right?
I don't know if the stand is included or not. But those big bug wings, like the whole loadout pack is with it. So it's in a double box.
All right. Yeah, it looks cool. Then he revealed that they got this IP for Legend of the White Dragon.
Yeah.
Now this is a movie that's not due out until December, right? And this was a guy who was like a Power Ranger who went on to do a movie that looks like he's a Power Ranger, but he's not a Power Ranger.
Sure.
Yeah.
So does anybody know what this movie's about?
It's
about a white dragon who has a blue like lightsaber thing that sticks out of his arm.
So it's about a guy who wanted to be a Power Ranger,
and he fights.
But now has to be a white dragon.
He fights the black dragon who has the exact same outfit as him, but he has a red saber that sticks out of his arm.
I don't know. I think it's cool for. I guess it's cool that they got an IP for this. I don't know how it's going to go past this one movie though.
I don't think it's slated to.
I mean, the lead actor is not around, right? So they can't really have him do any more.
Right.
I'm saying not. I don't think it looks that good.
I'm not a Power Ranger guy, so it doesn't appeal to me at all.
All right, not into the White Dragon stuff. Okay. Yeah, I thought it was kind of weird. I thought that they were going to announce that they had like a license with like that mixed martial arts, that Thai mixed martial arts, the one that they had, they sponsor somebody who's a mixed martial artist. I thought they were going to say that they had inked a deal with that to do a whole line.
And he said a couple of IPs fell through.
Yeah, so I wonder if that's
on, and then he landed this one.
Yeah. Well, at least he's trying to do something, right?
Yeah, he's branching out. He's
trying to do something a little bit more.
Said he's got
we'll see how it goes because
a lot of things in the work, he says, like as far as different characters and different lines of stuff like this for the snow people and doing Marines and
This was a surprise to me because like I think he had previously said he wasn't interested in like snow characters.
Yeah.
So I say this is kind of a response to both fans and Hasbro for doing the snow job and the snow bat and stuff like that.
Yep.
The only thing that I say about this is like in that top picture, the green doesn't look right to me. But you know, maybe a tan or something like that would have worked better. But like, but in the lower picture, I think it looks.
Right. I don't know personally, like the color of green that he's using, if it's right. But he did say that it is an actual military Arctic color that they use.
Oh, okay.
So I don't.
Right,
I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, I guess I'll have to look at that and see. But it could be. I mean, it could be, and I just don't like it personally. I would rather have it be more blue than green. I think, but yeah, that would have been a good color, like a bluish, like a light blue or something.
Yeah, you know, like how they do snow camo with whites and blues and grays.
Yeah, DJ Mr. McFly. I don't like the green. Night Op Still Brigade looks nice. Yeah. Let's see. No. And then here's the Arctic sniper, who's and all the weapons. It's the same green. So we'll look at that green later, and I'll figure out if that's actually a military color. Where's my? Oh, you know what? I'm gonna skip that because I wanted to. Oh, okay. So, anyways, Arctic sniper. I like the fact that they're going to do that ghillie suit in the Arctic.
Yeah.
Also, I think it looks pretty good.
What I find funny about Valaverse is I actually like all the accessory packs more than I like the figures themselves. And the accessory packs make me think, well, I should get a figure so I can have all the accessory packs to go with them.
Yes.
Quite frankly, I like the ghillie suits. I like the ghillie suits and all the weapons, but
the figures not so much.
Well, I just feel like they're lacking something. I always look at them and go, that's pretty cool, but
okay. So I'll say that they probably have one mold that they use for like the bodies are all built almost identically, right? And it's really just like paint apps and stuff like this. So they have a few different versions. So it's like how Hasbro does the Buck. They do that Bucky body or whatever for a lot of their figures. So almost their whole line is based on like one figure, and they just have all the different accessories, right?
Yeah.
It could.
So I think these look really good. I mean, these are like of course
great,
desert.
yeah.
There's the desert condor. Looks pretty fantastic. I love the color scheme on these. I think they look really good. But same as what you're saying, John. Like the bodies are pretty much the same. It's the same figure, just painted differently.
Yep. But I mean, that looks great in the top picture. You know what I mean, with all the gear on.
Yeah, that's the Steel Brigade. The one below is Condor.
Yep.
Cushion. Mod Extra saying looks like a bundle of cushion feathers glued together. Yeah, apparently you haven't seen my homemade ghillie suit that I made because it doesn't.
They look good in person.
I think I think I might feel a lot different if
you saw it.
Like no, like if I had played with a lot of these. I mean, like. Okay, I guess there's two different things. If like this was a line that I had when I was a kid, so what I would be looking for, like as an adult collector, would be like Baron Ironblood. I'd be looking for the Red Shadows, which for whatever reason he's not making yet. So if it's an Action Force line, where's the Action Force characters that we grew up with?
I don't think he has full licensing, though. I think that's the reason.
He just owns the name.
This is owns the name. This is Duster or whatever, and I put my Selfie Series figure on there, and this is probably the best fit for this that I could find. I've swapped it out. I've tried to put it on like Spirit. I've tried to put it on like whatever, but I think it just looks fantastic on it because I'm a real world person, and this body and accessories make it feel real world to me.
So you go running around with a flak vest and a bunch of knives.
I do.
And
Normally.
Normally.
That's how he goes to work.
Right. Whole regular. That's my regular wardrobe. It's right here in the closet.
Everyday carry.
But there are like this figure, for example, like I could see purchasing this and making a cool version of Firefly.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like
so, John.
And like I got the Sergeant Slaughter from Velaverse because it's Sergeant Slaughter, and I love those figures. You know.
Do you think it's because there's no backstory, no nostalgia for these characters? Is that the reason why
there needs to be like a cartoon on Netflix right now for these? That's
they
what
they got a comic book. They have a comic book, John.
Yeah, but I think they need a cartoon that I can watch every day, and I'll get into it. Because if I know the characters' names and I follow a story, especially like say a cartoon on Netflix or something, then I might be like, oh, that's so and so, and she's really cool in the cartoon. I'm gonna get her now, you know.
Well, maybe if they're watching this video, which I doubt because they probably see my thumbnails and just say, oh, we're not watching that guy. If they're watching, maybe John, you just gave them a tip that what they could do is try to sell their property to a studio that does TV animation and then build like a cartoon out of it. Because I think for Netflix or something like that, I think it would be a really cool series. Yeah. And realistically, they don't even have to do a cartoon. They could sell it to Amazon. They could sell it to like Netflix, and they can do like a whole series. They used to have that show called Revolution where like all the power in the world went out. And it was like people were traveling around. There was no electricity and stuff like that. And you had all these like little militaries that popped up. Yeah. It was almost, I feel like it could be in that same idea realm, right? Where it could work as a live action also.
Yeah. Or that movie, that show Last Ship or whatever. There was little militias.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. So I think this guy looks really cool. The one thing I like about this is that helmet with the gas mask on it.
The gas mask helmet.
Yeah, it just looks cool to me.
They're making head packs, so those gas masks are going to come in every color for each faction.
So that ghillie suit is from Gridiron Studios, actually. The one I showed off.
Yep.
Mine is
actual weeds from outside.
Yeah, no, this one is mine, and I sewed together like some camouflage, so it's kind of like a suit. The figure can actually put it on. Those are the legs and arms, and then I have all of this like brush attached to it, and it works in my backyard because of the types of plants we have.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, anyways, I'm going to go through some of the chats. I agree with John. No attachment to Action Force. I love them because they don't have a backstory in popular culture. It's new and it's fresh. Yep, you got two different sides.
See, but I do want to caveat with my second thing though.
What Way said, no interest.
If I had unlimited funds, or if I were not already attached to GI Joe, Transformers, Star Wars, Masters of the Universe, I'm buying like 12 different lines as it is.
Yeah.
I can't fit another line in with my budget. But I'll tell you, if I made another $20,000 or $30,000 a year, I'd be buying every single one of these figures.
Okay.
So it's not because they're not good. It's basically
you can become an Uber driver.
No, I'm
DoorDash.
not a second job.
You can DoorDash. You can do Task Rabbit.
Or when I do see them on sale, like I saw one the other day on Amazon that was just like $18.99, and I seriously considered buying it because they must have ordered too many and just decided to mark it down or something. I don't know, but I didn't end up buying it. But I was sitting there for a long time considering it.
They dropped their prices, and they're going to cover the energy costs of repeatedly running the hairdryer to use them to get them. That Bush has a gun. Look out! Yeah. Valaverse Action Force has a lot of potential, a lot of unused potential.
But a lot of different companies need to take a page from this. I mean, notice they give you a stand with every figure.
Yeah. The thing is with Connor is what he's saying. Why
can't all Hasbro give us a stand? I don't understand why Hasbro is so against giving people stands.
Yeah, and then they use them in their presentation. Anyways, Connor's talking about the one toy company that was over there that was going to be like dealing in the Action Force had some issues or whatever. So that's why he's saying Toys R Us, I think, has a lot to answer for. This is pretty cool. If this is like a set, I mean, like you got the long rifle, you got like the case that comes with it. So this is obviously going to be a super deluxe. Looks like this may be the guy that comes with the ghillie suit. I think it looks okay.
Saying this is John because he can hide in the bushes.
Yes. No. As you can see in this picture, John, you can only use this ghillie suit on concrete.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Gotcha. The picture on the far right there shows the ghillie suit next to the concrete that it would disguise you from. That's what you said before.
Well, you would turn into a bush, on the side of the road.
So here's the last thing I think they showed from the panel. They were talking about. I guess they're going to do blister cards.
Oh, neat.
So I wonder if
with the file card on the back. Look at that.
Well, all of them have file cards on the back of their boxes.
Oh, did they? Yeah.
Yeah, look.
I didn't notice my Sergeant Slaughter had a file card for some reason.
Yeah, they all come with like a file card like that on the back, right above their points.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to know, G-Force, about this blister pack. Is this going to be like on a card? It's like a card with like a bubble on the front. Is that what they're talking about?
Yep.
So are all their figures going to transition to something like this?
I don't know if all of them are. If I believe he said it was part of the cost-cutting thing.
Okay, that makes sense then.
Probably so cheaper to do them on cards instead of boxes.
So so it's not that he just dropped prices. He's dropping some of his production cost by switching to the card.
I think so, yes.
Okay.
Don't
I thought he was dropping prices because sales were actually better and they were selling more, which means that they could pass along some of the manufacturing savings, but they found a way by changing the packaging to save money and pass it along. Okay, that makes sense. I like it.
Yeah, so it could be both.
I think all figures should have a file card. I think Marvel Legends should have file cards on the back. Star Wars Black Series should have file cards on the back. I love file cards. I think file cards... back in the 80s, like the Marvel superheroes from Toy Biz had a little file card on the back.
Robots backing me up.
Hercules had a little, even Hercules figures had a little file card on the back, and I think everything needs a file card. I do.
So Sonny is
And-
saying he didn't order the Covert Condor because he didn't want to cut his boxes because he didn't want to take the points off, because you got to cut the box to get the points.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I gotta say, like, did you ever mail away for any Kenner Star Wars stuff because you had to cut the UPCs off your cards?
I miss mailaways. I do. I wish they still did Star Wars mailaways and stuff.
For
Right.
Sonny, was it the name pills he had to cut out in Germany?
Yeah, they did.
I know they
cut
had
the
to do
name
that
bills,
in Australia.
Now this is totally Tunnel Rat. So
Right.
I'm getting this.
Yeah.
I'm getting this.
Yeah, this is awesome. What's in the background, John? G-Force? What are those in
Zombie
the back?
bats.
Are they zombie bats or zombie?
I
I
don't know.
heard somebody say that, but I don't think that's correct.
Yeah.
It's just they're just bent over weird. They're
Yeah.
I think they're just vipers. Yeah, bent over.
yeah.
But they look cool. I mean, these
Or
just look
Vipers,
awesome.
yeah, that's what
And here's the big difference between G.I. Joe and Marvel and Star Wars, or especially Marvel. When Marvel puts out their promo pics, honestly, they are just a picture of the figure on a
Yeah.
white or black
plain
background.
background.
But
G.I. Joe and
is actually putting out
Transformers.
their pictures.
G.I. Joe and Transformers both have been like in
Yeah.
action scenes, you know.
Yeah, and they just make them 10 times look cool.
But good luck trying to get his hands in that position with the pistol in the image on the right, because
You don't think you're going to be able to do that two-handed grip?
not at all. No way. They broke the figure to do
You
that. I
broke the
bet.
figure to do it.
That's fun.
Gosh. All right, let's see. The next one was this Desert Commando Snake Eyes. I don't think I'm interested at all in this.
Well, I'll tell you, I ordered 3 of the Tunnel Rat and ordered only 0 of this guy.
yeah, I think
I don't
That makes
dislike
sense.
it, but I don't need more Snake Eyes.
Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah,
love
that's
it, but
the
I
problem.
can't. It's just beyond my.
is Snake Eyes the new like Boba Fett?
It is.
He's
Yeah,
like-
he
yeah.
is. Well,
Yeah,
he's
I
not
wish
even
they
a new Boba Fett. He was the Boba Fett right after Boba Fett. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
they need to stop. They need to stop
Yeah.
cranking out Snake Eyes.
That's why Snake Eyes is on so many covers of the old comics from Marvel, because he was the one who sold. They eventually had to do like a whole story arc of just Snake Eyes, because
right.
that was what made the comics sell was
Here,
is Snake
Ma-
Eyes. You know.
Mod Extra with his ice emojis. Yeah, looks good, but not interested. Not.
I think it's hot.
pass.
It's hot, but I'm not buying it. You know what I
Pass.
mean?
There's a lot of passes. This guy's going to be on clearance everywhere.
Yeah, that's when I'll get him. That's what I
Yeah.
mean.
Yeah.
When he shows up for $10, I'll buy him and probably
Yeah.
buy 2. You know, but like
And they probably made so much of this Snake Eyes too that,
He will
like
be
John
on
said, he's going to be peg warming. And then they only made 20 eels because they sold out like that.
yeah.
Well, that's because they were Amazon exclusive, so they were like, it's only what Amazon. Look at Connor standing out from the crowd. I'm so in for this.
You be you,
Oh,
Connor.
Repeater. That was the first G.I. Joe figure I got. It was gifted to me. That's pretty cool.
I have him. He's in my. I have
Never
him
heard
in
of
my
this
GI
character. I like the photos. I'll grab them on clearance. Yeah, so there's a lot of passes, a lot of grab them on clearance, but Connor is 100%. Okay, and then here is the eel that you speak of.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna have to hunt
No,
him
he was
down.
he's an Amazon exclusive.
Amazon
That was a
exclusive. No,
stupid idea.
Yes.
Let's make
Right.
the most popular Cobra trooper
Well,
so
it's-
exclusive. No one's
it
gonna
just
be able
goes
to get
back-
him.
It just goes back to their original release. The Cobra Island Trooper was a Target exclusive.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I
Yeah,
mean, how did that make any sense?
yeah.
Yeah. I think
They
this guy
shouldn't
looks
give-
really, really cool. I don't see needing more than like one or two of
Oh,
these.
I would have if I had the chance. I would have bought 3 or 4 of them because they're just
2
awesome.
would be
but-
cool just to flank your water moccasin or,
Sure.
your moray. Oh, that's right. They don't make 6-inch vehicles.
But the thing is, it's like, I mean, if you get like, they were saying in the internet, somebody said that they bought like 20. I'm like, okay, why? Do you setting up your aquarium or?
He's setting up
No,
an
they're going to
aquarium.
JOEFEST next year with them and charging $175.
Yeah,
Which
exactly.
they did have what was it? Tiger Force Dusty $175.
I'm going to tell you, so I'll make a comment about this picture, and you can ask Scuba Pete if you guys are not divers or whatever. You shouldn't necessarily wear your mask on the top of your head like that, because it's technically, I think, a sign of that you're in distress.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, when you're on the surface and you put your mask up.
Aren't Cobra Troopers almost always in distress?
Yeah, I think that's a sign. I haven't been diving in a long time, but I think that's one of the signs that you're in distress is that you just have it right here. It's kind of one of those things. Like if a lifeguard sees you, they'll jump in the water, I think.
Are they supposed to put it around their neck?
I think you're supposed to pull it down, yeah. Yeah. Scuba Steve is all I think of when I see these underwater guys. Yep. Resale market. Yeah. So, anyways, I thought all three of those this week were pretty cool. The Wanda, I think, is kind of. I'm not. After that last one, there's not enough difference here in this one.
How do you think they already had Tiger Force Dusty? Wasn't he just like announced as a?
Yeah, I have no idea. They had like 3 brand new figures, and they were all almost $200.
Yeah, well, because that Tiger Force Dusty was probably already in the works and ready to be released, and they probably had them imported from somewhere, and probably had their own special drop shipments or something like that.
They had the Spider-Man 3-pack too for astronomical amount of money.
Huh.
Yeah, sign of distress is to wave your arms around the string. But the thing is, if you don't have air in your buoyancy controller and you're out there, that's the other thing too. If you look back at these scuba divers, right, like these guys, where's his buoyancy controller? That's that little vest you wear that you would like put water in to equalize you so that you don't like raise up or drift down. He should have like, something over.
Well, that's in his backpack in this one. This is a special
that's his
Cobra design.
Those are his air. That's his air tank.
It's a special Cobra design
device. Destro's an artist. He knows what he's doing.
It's a special Cobra design.
Okay.
Yeah, Wanda's a nope. All that's different is her shoulders are covered.
Yeah. So, to me, I'm like, not enough difference there. Where's Scuba Pete? Yeah, we need Scuba Pete to come in and talk about his scuba diving and whether or not I'm saying anything that's accurate. What about this Blueberry thing, John?
I think it's hot.
Oh, it's cool, but I'm not buying
it. But I think it's hot.
Oh, you guys, it'll be in your collection.
I was toying around with the other two because they're $25. These cereal icon.
If Dino was here, he would be 100%.
He'd be going crazy.
Well, Chris too, right?
Chris, right? He would have Blueberry. Nope. Okay. So we'll just
Irish guys. You didn't even get Blueberry, did you, over there?
DJ Mr. McFly says no. All right. How about these NECA convention exclusives that are going to be available online in the internet convention?
Well, they're not. They're made by NECA, so no.
Literally had that chat up for a blink in the eye. He's even faster than normal. Yes. So I am. Next time I'm going to give you 0.7 seconds for that comment. So what convention are they talking about?
They're online.
Is that like Haulathon or something?
Yeah, it's like how Target does a like convention weekend sale. They're all doing these stupid. Everyone's doing these stupid online pretend conventions that aren't really a convention.
Okay, so they only pretend this is an exclusive, is what you're telling me.
Exactly.
Okay. Oh, they're saying it's San Diego Comic-Con, but nowhere on here is there a San Diego Comic-Con logo. I didn't even think the box will say San Diego Comic-Con, and it's not available at Comic-Con. It's available online, so I don't think they're using the word exclusive correctly.
Correct.
Anybody getting Darkwing Duck?
He looks cool. No articulation.
Dangerous. What? Yeah, he looks cool, but no.
No? Okay.
Does he have any joints?
Well, or are you talking about articulation?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think he does.
Is he articulatable?
Articulable. Only if you put him behind your mouth and speak for him. These will go up before San Diego for 3 days, and the 4-pack will be available at the con. Okay, that's what he did. All right. We got some now. We get some now, but they are sold on this sweet candy sections. Okay.
Let's get dangerous.
Trademarks, you're not allowed to use it. Yeah, if you're using it as labeling your item as a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, you're allowed to use it, because I have so many products that have that San Diego Comic-Con exclusive tag on it. Yeah. If it had articulated. Let's get dangerous. Left Coast is hammer. He's all about Hammerhead. I don't know. Planer
what character? Hammer who?
Letting people know how to purchase the 4-pack.
I'm not sure what this Hammer character is you're talking about.
I don't know who this Hammer dude. Hammer time. What about the monsters? Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Is that one of the cyborg ones?
I don't know. I think this might be like a glowing. Yeah, it is a cyborg. But it's weird. Does the chest come off and then you see the insides? Is that what the deal is?
Kind of odd.
Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting.
I don't know.
Very interesting.
They are interesting. I see them in Best Buy, actually, is the place I see them the most, those cyborgs.
Yeah. And this one's glow in the dark, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. John, no comment? No comment from John. We'll move on.
Well, no, I like it. I mean, he's my favorite of all the creatures, but I just can't buy all this
And
stuff.
Jonathan, once again, with his subpar 7.
So I got a question for you on the packaging, though. It says Creature from the Black Lagoon at the top left, but then it says Gillman going down.
Yeah, that's his given name.
That's his government name. Okay.
That's what's on his ID card.
So did someone actually capture one and dissect it so that the innards are accurate?
Yeah, what they did was they caught it. They did an X-ray. They
didn't actually dissect them. They did an X-ray.
But here's my question: do fish have lungs?
No.
Well, this one does. Isn't it half man, half fish?
Oh, that's right, because he's got to breathe on land.
Yeah.
Okay. Through his gills.
He has both.
Gillman. Okay. And then, of course, this is a tease for the Hot Toys 1/6 scale Supergirl that's going to be coming out. So I know all you Hot Toys collectors.
No one's going to buy this. It's going to be on
jumping
sale.
right on and buying it.
Does anyone know if Hot Toys fixed their spandex suits so they're not tearing after being posed for a certain length of time or any of that stuff?
Probably not.
Levi's
can't even fix that.
Yeah.
I mean, they can't even keep my jeans from ripping after 37 years.
No, that's
37
true.
years.
The same pair or the same brand?
Same pair. So, any of these Masters of the Universe Sunman for anybody?
Cool set. I will get. I'm definitely going to want the Whiplash, but that's the only one.
So they went on sale today, right? Or is it pre-order today?
Well, I won't pre-order. I'm sure I'll find one in the store.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know.
You never. Every He-Man figure ends up in the store. It's not like.
But since they made them Target exclusives, I think they're going to be pretty hard to find.
I don't think so.
Johnson targets all the time.
Yeah, I'm in there every day.
You walk in the back rooms.
Oh, here's my Sunman. I think they already have a Helen Slater Supergirl Hot Toys. What about the coming spring or shipping in the winter? This is the Super 7 Volkswagen bus or something?
Turtle van.
Pizza wagon or something?
Would you buy this and then paint it like the A-Team?
No.
I have a turtle van. I don't need this.
Because John believes that once you paint your toy, it's no longer worth anything to anybody.
No, it's not original anymore.
It's not original anymore. That is correct. But it's worth something to somebody.
It is. Just not John.
Yeah, just not me.
Pass on the Mo 2 characters coming out now are way too obscure. Kind of like that Glinda.
Yeah.
From that HASLAB. All right, let's just move on from this van. It doesn't seem super exciting. Oh, that's it. That's it.
I
All
think
right.
they could have come up with
That's
a better name
exciting.
than Glenda too. Like that.
Well, but
What's your code name? Oh, I want to be the Good Witch.
yeah, but I mean, you got to remember that was what they came up with for Argentina back in the day, and they probably did that because they were like, oh, if we give it an American name or like a American Western name, it'll be more popular, right?
Yeah.
Because then people will feel like they're getting something more Americanized or whatever.
Fun stuff.
Interesting. All right, so those were the reveals this week. I am watching the show on Apple TV Plus called Silo. It's got a couple more episodes.
About it.
Got a couple more episodes and is just now getting really good. Now,
Are people trapped in like a grain silo?
No, so what it is, it's like these people have been living in like this giant silo under the ground for like a few hundred years. And there's like maybe like 15,000 people down there. So they have like a system of government in place. They have their law enforcement. And they have like this whole system of like who can have a baby and who can't have a baby and whatever, this whole thing. And the biggest crime is saying, oh, I want to go outside. And so basically, like, if you say it, you get sentenced to go outside. And it looks like the world has been decimated somehow. And when you go outside, you like almost immediately die, according to what they can tell, because there's like a video camera looking at the outside world.
But really, when you go outside, you find that civilization prospered, and there's like thousands.
We don't know. We don't know yet.
We
don't know yet. But like one of the rules of the society is you can't have anything from the before time. So like they call them relics. So there's no pictures. There's no like stuff from before the silo. And
I mean, no shoes, no pants, no shirts.
No, they have shoes and pants, but like no pictures of the sunset, no pictures of the ocean, no picture books or anything like that. No watches that were made prior to the silo. Pez candy dispensers or whatever would be a prohibited item, right? Because they're trying to prevent the society from seeing the outside, something from the outside, and wanting to go outside, right? So they're trying to preserve life. And it's like a couple of hundred stories down. And the story follows like an engineer who becomes like the sheriff. And then there's like this conspiracy unfolding where there's, you know, the secret police and like the people who are secretly in charge who weren't really supposed to be in charge type of thing. And the cool thing about the series to me is the way that the story has been unfolding. And if you've ever watched this show called Justified, the guy who created Justified, Graham Yost, he also created the show. So it's got this very familiar like atmosphere about the show, right? And the way it's like written. And I think it's been really pretty cool to watch because it's kind of reverse sci-fi with like a little sci-fi element, but kind of like a procedural police drama type of thing.
And check it out.
Yeah, it's on Apple TV Plus. I think it's actually really, really cool to watch.
Do you want to see what just finally showed up?
What?
So when I ordered this item, I spent, what was it, $150 maybe? And they told me it would be at my door in March.
Okay.
So I was
But there was a time change.
I was waiting from March, like going, it's now April. And then I went, it's now May. And then I'm like, hello guys, it's June. I kept calling and bugging them and asked, because I saw Appetite for Collectibles, Nilda got this in March. And she paid for hers when they were being released. I paid for mine a year ago when they first announced it. The day they announced it, I went on and paid in full the day they announced it. And I got mine 5 months after everybody else. I'm pissed at that, by the way.
What is it? Oh, Star Wars
Hot Toys Yoda. My Hot Toys Yoda finally showed up.
Very cool.
After waiting since March when they were released.
You like Yoda stuff or what?
He's in a little. He's taller than I thought. I thought this was going to be like 3 inches tall. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for a 6 scale. I mean, he looks pretty big for a 6 scale.
Yeah.
Is he like 6 inches tall? Because that's not the correct scale.
He's about 6 inches tall. Yeah, so that would make
so
Yoda
a little bit too big.
That would make Yoda 3 feet.
Right.
Isn't Yoda about 3 feet tall?
No.
Well, how tall is Yoda? He's not 2 feet tall.
Yeah, probably.
No.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me put it in Google. How tall is Yoda?
Yeah, but it might tell you that it's 7 o'clock there.
Yeah, you can't trust the internet.
How tall is Yoda? 7 p.m. What the hell? Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. He's 2 feet 2 inches tall.
There you go.
I was right.
Okay.
Because he doesn't come up to. He won't come up to your knee.
Yeah.
Right.
So he really should have only been about 4 inches tall. So
yeah,
this is more like 6.
So he's a giant Yoda.
Yeah, but it's okay because it'll look good in the Yoda display. You'll actually be able to see it. So
yep.
Yeah, that is cool.
Stand
so he won't be.
So
he's the size of a Black Series figure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
you should take some pictures with him and some of your Black Series figures.
With Luke, I'll put him on Luke's back.
Yes.
In that little backpack. Yeah.
6 inches on his back.
Well, like Luke all hunched over.
Yeah.
And Yoda like
And the other thing that pisses me off is for my birthday back in January, Mark ordered me a $200 Yoda statue. He got that deluxe Yoda statue, the big thing. And it was supposed to be released in the end of April, and it's now June, and I don't know where. You know, I'm like, why do they make these release dates for these expensive items and then delay it by months?
Did you watch?
I've been waiting for 2 years for my G-Force figure from Storm Collectibles.
Yeah, that's just never coming.
They just keep pushing it back.
It's ridiculous.
It's supposed to be here this month. It's supposed to be August of last year release.
Hey, you know what you could do? There's a guy on Instagram, toying around or whatever.
Toying around?
I think that's his handle or whatever. He does. Okay. He ordered like that Mezco Batman or whatever, the 112 Batman, the Keaton. I think maybe the Keaton one. And
I ordered the new Hot Boy one.
He supposedly ordered it before COVID, like when they first announced it, and then it was supposed to ship
2.5
a year ago, and like a month ago, he was making a video every single day going, it's been 297 days since it was supposed to be delivered. And like he would do one like every day. And then he had all these ones. He went to the mailbox and then he's looking through his mailbox. And then like his neighbor comes up and goes into the parcel and goes, yes, my Mezco's here. Like
put a sword out every day.
Yeah, so he was doing a video. You should do a video every day, Storm Collector, and then tag them.
Yeah.
Battle of the Planets. It's interesting because you say Battle of the Planets, and I always think Gotcha Man.
Well, it's technically Gotcha Man.
Yeah. I remember like a few years ago, they were going to do a movie. Like maybe like 10 years ago, they announced it at Comic-Con and they had a whole thing. I remember picking something up. I'm going to look through a box because I think I probably still have something from when they did that. If I did, I'll send it to you. But if I can find it, but it was like it was a watch and had like the logo on it. But I don't think that thing ever got made. That movie.
Yeah, a live action.
That would be really cool. Yeah, I think it was. I don't know if it was a live action or if it was going to be a cartoon. Maybe it was supposed to be a live action because I think that Astro Boy was being announced that same time or whatever. It was like right around that time. That was like what, 2010, 2011 maybe.
Yeah.
But anybody else watching anything interesting right now they want to talk about?
I finished watching all 5 seasons of SWAT. I thought that was a good show, but it's old. So
the original or the CBS remake?
Geez, now you told me there's an original one. I don't know. I guess the new one because it was like last year was the 5th season. So
okay, yeah, you knew there was an original one, right? Back in like the 70s.
Nope. I wasn't alive.
Yeah, they used to drive that van and the guy never got out of the front of the car or something like that, the one with the headphones. It was so cheesy when the back of the van would open up and they would like file out one at a time.
They had SWAT teams back in the 70s? I thought that was like a modern thing.
It was when they had a bunch of police shows called like The Rookie. They had SWAT. They had like Police Woman.
That's all new shows. Those are all new shows. I watched The Rookie right now with that guy from Firefly is in it, Nathan Fillion.
Yeah, but they had all those shows back in the day.
Before all the SVUs and
apparently I'm watching them all the modern ones. Yeah.
See, you were too busy watching like Airwolf, Greatest American Hero,
Greatest
and
American Hero,
I was always watching those.
And Starsky and Hutch. I watched Starsky and Hutch.
Yeah, well, I watched that too.
Yeah, Blue Thunder.
All of those old. One of my. Do you ever watch that Adam 12 and the Dragnet shows?
Yeah.
Adam 12, man, it was so hilarious because they used to put the helmets on when they would drive the patrol car.
The cars, right?
And I've seen them if they're on Tubi, I'll look them up. Yeah.
What?
If they're on the Tubi app, I've been watching them on that because I watch all the old shows on it, like Laser Man and
apparently from what I understand is when they did that Adam 12, that was like a policy, right? Like with LAPD or whatever, they had helmets. They had to wear them when they were driving their patrol cars.
That's correct.
It was like, okay, that's funny. They have their little helmets and stuff like that.
I watched Avatar yesterday. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't. Didn't blow me away.
I've watched 2 parts of it so far. I watched part of it one night, probably got a half hour in and stopped. And then I watched more of it earlier today, maybe watched another 40 minutes and stopped. So I got to finish it now.
So without reviewing, so anybody in the chat watching, without us actually reviewing Avatar or saying what we think of it, what do you guys think about Avatar? John can't even watch it and wants it. And G-Force like, it was
fine. I like the effects and stuff. I think that it's cool, but
that is hilarious. Oh my gosh.
Well, it's a modern age. You don't have to watch a movie in one sitting. You can pause it and go on to do other things.
Yeah, but if it's a good movie, you have a tendency to like just finish it.
Right.
Unless I don't have time.
Unless
I've only got an hour.
But you got a 3-hour movie.
You should start a 3-hour movie.
Hey, I got like 25 minutes. Let me start this 3-hour movie.
Sometimes I start a 1-hour TV show knowing and I only have a half hour to watch. I pause it in the middle and come back when I can finish it. Stuff doesn't have to fit into a time block. Stuff doesn't have to fit into a time block anymore for me. I just watch until I have to go somewhere and then pause it, come back and finish it later. I mean, it's streaming. It's not going anywhere. You can watch it whenever you want.
It was stunning, but story-wise. So here's a funny thing about the Avatar. So the guy that's in Avatar, one of the guys in Avatar, was in the first season of Fear the Walking Dead, right?
Okay.
And he was like one of the main characters. I think he was like the dad or whatever in the show. Because I remember at that time he left that show, Fear the Walking Dead. They like wrote him off. He got killed because he signed on to do 3 Avatar movies. I'm thinking like, I just finished watching season 7 of the Fear the Walking Dead. So which means he lost out on being able to do potentially 6 seasons of a show before like one movie came out. Movies, right?
Crazy.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to be retired by the time the last movie comes out. Oh my gosh.
See, I think my biggest problem with Avatar is that I don't enjoy the way the aliens are designed. It doesn't require that too. It doesn't require a shower to pause a movie and come back to your couch later. So it's good.
So we got this guy, John.
Yeah.
And it's all in baggies on the spruce, still unassembled. But
that's
it is
cool.
Open.
That's from
Fun School.
The International Heroes. Yeah, Fun School.
I think you need to rip that open and put it together.
Didn't you say it was something
No.
Didn't you say it was like $20 or $30 or something? I would have bought that too.
This one was $50.
Okay,
so it's a little pricey, but
Yeah, no, I would have bought that. That's a good price for the box. Is mint.
Make your own video for that if you're gonna do it.
The box is mint.
I'm not.
Oh, it was the other one that was around $20 some, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Skyhawk was 25.
What's crazy is what did I spend? Didn't I spend like $20 or $30 for the two of them? And then you got one with the box for like cheaper than I think I got the two of them.
Everything's intact, nothing broken.
Yeah. I'd love to have that box. You were saying it's damaged, but I'm like, I don't care.
Sun bleached and it's a little dented up or whatever, but I'm gonna iron it and flatten it out.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Blueprints in it.
Wow.
The baggy's still in there, so for 25
the other thing you can do is take a real rigid cardboard, like go buy like a really nice rigid cardboard and cut it to the right size and build a box that slides inside that box. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
Because I did that with one of my masks. I have the mask Switchblade, the helicopter, the blue.
No, that detracts from the value.
The box was completely destroyed.
Box, it's not original anymore, and it's not going to be valuable.
But the box was almost destroyed. But I built a cardboard box and slid it in there, and it.
Oh, John, you modified your original stuff.
I didn't glue it to it.
I picked this guy up today too.
That's cool. Yeah.
I'm disappointed. John gave us that big speech about modifying your stuff and how he does, and then he modified his boxes.
Modified.
And stuff. Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
It's not modified. I didn't color it or glue it or anything.
G-Force, what do you got going on this week? Anything? You got anything coming up on your channel?
I did a quick 3-store toy hunt today, so that video will be coming out, and then I'm going to buy the Valaverse figures. So those are 2 next videos probably on the channel.
Cool. John, you got anything coming up on your channel?
My new video just went live.
Oh, well, we're cutting into the premiere on your video?
No, it's not a premiere. It just,
everybody run over to Super John's channel as soon as we log off here in a minute or so.
Yeah.
And check out his new video.
Let me make sure it's
lots
there.
Of comments and stuff like that. I think I may
Connor just put a video up too of the Connor of Scrap Iron.
Okay. Oh yeah, we want to check that out because
it's already got 20 views. So 20 people had already left your stream and went over and watched my video and came back.
Oh, cool.
Deserters.
So let's make sure we head over to Connor's channel and check out that Scrap Iron because that looks pretty cool.
Like the new one? The
the guy with all the scarred face. I think we should maybe
How
we should
the hell
just
did
watch
he get
it
that
here.
already? Mine
put
says
it on and share it.
Special Irish TV.
Here.
Anyways, I don't know
what mine says. I'll look it right here. Mine, I know it's on. I just saw it on order here.
All right.
Mine
I don't know what I'm doing.
Mine says September 4th. Why the hell are you getting it now when mine says September 4th?
Because they don't have because all our shipments are delayed right now.
I don't believe you. I think they're walking. I think they don't even have Hasbro product. They're getting some rip-off generic KO thing.
No, they got them. They drop ship them.
It's not real. It's not real.
Me, I don't know what I'm going to be doing this week at all. I meant to do this one last week, but I never got a chance to do it. So I may end up like breaking this out and trying to do it, especially since the movie just came out. But I did pick up because Connor had like done a custom on the hat, so I did end up grabbing this guy right here.
Wait, that's Tony though. You're not supposed to alter that one.
Well, I do whatever I want with my figures.
Oh,
so.
you're not?
That's Tony from Analog Toys. Though.
What a cracker that guy is. Got to meet him and hang out. He's a wild man.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, and then we're going to keep a close eye on the HASLAB. I might do like a little video talking about the HASLAB if we don't get some good numbers this week related to that tier 2, just to throw it out there and see if people are interested. I did a video this week. I don't know. I felt like it got pretty good reception on it. I was talking about how the two brands have been kind of complementing each other. And I had a lot of people respond to that and basically say, hey, man, I really appreciate this video because there's a lot of this like headbutting going on. And it's nice to agree that, I can have both lines and put them together. So, I mean, that was really the gist of that, right? That they complement each other, and I think they are kind of pushing each other a little bit to, like, you know, give
All
a little
mine
more.
are going right in the GI Joe display.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty cool. But G-Force, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it. You're welcome back anytime.
No problem.
John, thanks for coming on again. And let's tell Connor that the next time he comes on with John, maybe you'll give him an opportunity to speak.
Oh, all right. Yeah. I was just noticing you didn't say you're welcome to come back anytime you want.
You are also welcome to come back anytime.
You said it with G. You were like, G-Force, how you good to be on.
Well, this is the first time G-Force has been on, right? Like, so I'm just saying, like,
trying to be extra.
I know the show was called the Toy Duo, and it was originally me and Sean. He's working now, regularly on Saturdays and stuff like that. But I think it turns out to be a lot of fun when you have like more voices, especially when one really carries over the others, like John, and he doesn't give anybody a chance to like say anything edgewise. I think that's a lot of fun, especially when you get to interrupt and cut people. But anyways, I hope you guys have fun coming on and talking about toys and stuff
definitely.
like that.
Good time.
And so we'll see everybody. Oh, and everybody in the chat. I stopped my exit thing one time because I forgot to tell everybody in the chat, thanks for coming by and hanging out and commenting and stuff like that, because I think it's a lot of fun, especially with all the comments and stuff like that. And, keep coming back and let us know what you think. And if you guys want to see a segment or have something that you think we can do, let us know. And I think people used to make fun of me for leaving the comments up too long. So I think I've got those pretty much down to like 0.7 seconds. So I think that helps everybody to not be able to read actually what's on the screen. Yeah. And anyways,
and you take time to read the really short comments, but the ones that are really long, just leave up for a second.
That are very thought out, well thought out and articulate and stuff like that. Just skip over them.
They can see them in the chat anyway. They're right there.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
All right, guys.
So I got news. I'm gonna start taking over my mom's house as well. She said that she gave me a room to use as a new toy room at the house.
Right.
So.
How far is that from where you're at?
About an hour and 15 minutes. So
you're just gonna have stuff shipped there.
So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do modern up there and keep the vintage here in the condo. So the condo will be the vintage condo. And all the modern's going to go up to her place.
We'd like to see how that room progresses from start to finish. From start.
Well, hopefully that means I can get all the boxes emptied that are storing crap.
All your Lego can go up there.
You need to go get shelves and put shelves in first.
I know. That's what I'm going to do. We're going to go probably starting next week.
All right. Awesome.
You can get DVD shelves.
I'll go to, I don't know. She doesn't have an IKEA near her. I'm not sure what I'm going to do.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll be watching your channel for the progress on that.
I want to see the update.
We'll set up some. We'll take all her Ring cameras from outdoors that are monitoring the house, and we'll put them in the room so you can watch.
24/7. All right, guys. We'll see you next week. See ya.
Bye.
Bye, guys.